Michael, I don't know about you.
Whew.
Getting a little hot in here.
Oh, God.
Oh, you didn't do it. Well, yeah! Hot Take Tuesday. Hot Take Tuesday. Don't correct me. Where we are, we give our staff around here at the Dave Campbell's Texas Football opportunity to get a hot take off their chest. Mm-hmm. Today, we talked with Will Wilkerson, who claims that 2021 and 2022 will go down in history as the best 2-year stretch in Texas high school football quarterbacks of this past century. Interesting take. We talked with Will Wilkerson about it. Here's my conversation with him on Hot Take Tuesday.
In the offseason here at TexasFootball.com, we are letting our staff dust off their best hot takes on Hot Take Tuesday. And here on Hot Take Tuesday, don't correct me, is our digital director. We're joined by William Wilkerson. Will, what's up, man?
Tepper, what is good? How are you?
So we're just getting the full Wilkerson Hardigan household on the show. This is like a real treat for us here at Texas Football.
I wouldn't call it a treat. For you have to endure Aaron outside of Texas high school football season it's not a treat. It was a treat for me because she left the house, so it was peaceful, it was quiet. I just feel for you.
I need to remind you, I'm recording this, and this is going to be played publicly, and you still have a month before the wedding. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm not telling you how to live your life, just maybe. Okay. So you've written a piece up on TexasFootball.com, and the headline is, "We're in the midst of the best 2-year Texas high school football quarterback run this century." So you're referring to the class of 2021 and the class of 2022 as the best 2-year span of Texas high school football quarterbacks since 2000. That's quite a bold claim. What do you have to back that up?
So I preface this by saying that I am no expert. I am no Matt Stepp. I am no Greg Tepper. However, I love recruiting. Been around the recruiting game for quite some time. And the 2021 class, as far as I could remember, was as deep a quarterback class as I've ever seen in this state. I wrote my piece, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure I am, but I counted 21 quarterbacks that signed with 21 Division I schools, which is quite the feat. And you're talking about elite guys. Jalen Milrose going to Alabama, who signed the best class of all time, and he's the only quarterback that they took in that class, which speaks volumes. He's a one-time Texas commit. You've got Garrett Nussmeier, whose father played in the NFL. He's going to LSU. You got Preston Stone, who is Dallas area's all-time leading passer. He's the highest rated commit that SMU has signed in like 2 decades. Caden Salter is probably going to start at Tennessee sooner rather than later. He's already on campus in Knoxville. And I think if you've ever seen this kid play, seen his arm, once he gets an offensive line that can keep him upright, he's going to do wonders. And then Demetrius Davis, excuse me. I stumble over my words quite frequently, so apologize there. I mean, he was the 5th-rated quarterback on TexasFootball.com in 2021, and he'll go down as you know, one of the most prolific players in state history with what he accomplished at North Shore. So I could go on. Eli Stowers, Baron Morton, it just keeps going. Kieran Drones, Sawyer Robinson, who's going to be a dual sport athlete at Mississippi State in football and baseball. I mean, his numbers at Lubbock Coronado were just stupid. So anyway, that was 2021. And then you look at 2022, and we all know the front runners there. Quinn Ewers, who is going to Ohio State now, Cade Klubnik, who just committed to Clemson, Connor Wegman, who will remind Aggie fans a lot of Johnny Manziel. That is, if he doesn't go the baseball route before then, because he is that elite a baseball prospect. Nick Evers from Flower Mound just committed to Florida yesterday. He has blown up. If you just take a gander at his Twitter feed, he is reporting offers literally every day. Garrett Rangel from Frisco Lone Star is at Oklahoma, or he's going to Oklahoma State, committed there at least. And the list goes on and on there as well. So if you combine the two, and I'm long-winded, I apologize. I just think that if you look at that class in 2021 and you compare it to Quinn Ewers, who's the number one consensus number one player in the country, Cade is making an argument, at least in some circles around the state, as the number one quarterback in the state, even surpassing Quinn Ewers. The two went head-to-head in the 6A D1 state championship, and Cade came out the victor there. I just think that they're the best two classes that we've seen this decade.
Okay, let me play a little bit
Century.
of devil's advocate.
Sorry, century, not the decade.
Yeah,
Century.
since 2000. Let me play a little bit of devil's advocate here, because there have been some other really nice classifications. One thing that I go back to would be, I think if you take a look at 2015, the class of 2015 had Kyler Murray. He ended up being okay, I would say. It had Jarrett Stidham. I know that he bounced around a little bit, but whenever he landed, the tools are in there. You add in guys like Quentin Dormady. You could go kind of either way on either side of it. 2014 class had Gerard Hurd, Pat Mahomes, right? Obviously, he wasn't the prospect that he is now. Guys like that. Or if you go after with 2016, Jalen Hurts, Shane Buechele, the third maybe Dylan Sterling Cole, someone like that. I guess my question is it, what would be your argument for this 2-year run versus maybe that run about 7 years ago?
I think the depth that 2021 had really takes things over the top when you consider the elite prospects that we have in 2022 with the aforementioned names and Ewers and Klubnik and Wegman and Rangel and Evers. I think that 2021's class was so elite and so deep, given what we knew these guys to be as high school prospects, taking Mahomes and Murray and Dormady and Stidham and all those guys into account. I just think, in my opinion, that 2021 kind of lifts this 2-year run over the top, in my humble opinion.
So then the other option, I would say, and you mentioned this in your piece on TexasFootball.com, you also make the argument that, why not say 2020 and 2021 as opposed to 2021, 2022? Because if you look at the 2020 class, and maybe part of it is we haven't seen them really come to fruition quite yet. It looks like Haynes King will probably get his shot at A&M. Hudson Card is considered, among the front runners to get the Texas job. Malik Hornsby, Conceal started for Vanderbilt, right? Deuce Hogan, Chandler Morris. Is it once again saying, would you say that that the top heaviness of the class of 2022 would outweigh the class of 2020?
That's it, Tep. That was the toughest little back and forth that I had with myself, was 2020 and 2021 versus 21 and 22. The 2020 class was superb. You mentioned all of those names. They were all terrific players. I just think that 2022, with the eliteness that these guys are, and they are elite. You look at Scout, you look at 24/7, you look at Rivals, you look at TexasFootball.com. Ewers is consensus number one across the board, at least the last time that I checked. So I just think that those guys are taking the cake for this 2-year run.
All right, let me play one more bit of devil's advocate, because I think you got me on board for your take. But one more bit of devil's advocate. Don't we have to wait? Don't we have to wait to see what these guys do at the next level before we're really ready to declare this? Because I think you look back at guys who we've seen fundamentally finish their career, right? 2006, right? That's when we had Greg McElroy, who was great at Alabama, Javon Sneed. That's, of course, when you had Matthew Stafford. 2007 had Ryan Mallett, Jarrett Lee, G.J. Kinney. Don't we have to exercise some patience, or are you ready to jump out there on that limb?
Look, I don't stretch my neck out a lot, even though my Adam's apple is out there all the time. But I really feel that confident in this group. When I was looking back at this, at this piece, and it was really fun to write. and I was really kind of taken aback at how much talent has come out of this state at the quarterback position. I knew it, but you look back and you just kind of forget some of those names. Jevin Sneed, for goodness gracious, I mean, he was a rock star. So, players like that kind of slip through the cracks a lot in my memory. But I might be forgetting, how good those guys were. I will, admit that. I'm not afraid to say that I might be wrong there. But again, I'm just going to go with the eliteness here. 2022 is not as deep at the quarterback position as 2020 was. But I do think that the top echelon of this class is just that good. So I'm gonna stick with my guns there.
He's Will Wilkerson. He's a 5-star prospect here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, our digital director. Will, appreciate your time, appreciate the piece, and good luck with Aaron.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.